أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي ربنا زدنا علما آمين يا رب العالمين. Today inshallah we are going to learn about Sifa Mushabba, that is also called Isim Sifa. These are the adjectives that describe inherent or lasting qualities. So let's learn about them. We can say that this sifa mushabba is a word or it is a derived noun which represents a permanent quality of an entity. Like the words on the patterns Qadirun, Alimun, Halimun, Rafiqun, Rahimun, they are all on the pattern of Fa'ilun, Hakimun, Karimun. These are all words that um, tells us or represent a permanent quality. Um Unlike the isim file that refers a temporary quality or an action of something, like we can say that Samion means someone who is listening at the moment, like it's happening now. It is just highlighting a current activity done by a person. So, however, Samion conveys a permanent quality of being able to listen even if there is no object being heard. So, Samion, like it is used as we know that for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that that this is a permanent trait that he is always listening. This type of noun reflects a quality or attribute that is inherent or inseparable from the entity that it is describing. And these all words like I mentioned uh, on the pattern of Elon, this the ya inside them is pointing to you that how they are different from that pattern of the isim file. We know that alimun, hakimun, and other words like on this pattern. So fa'ilun we can say is the most common form of the isim mushabba or isim sifa, and then there are many more uh, that inshallah we are going to see. So it is a permanent quality of any entity we can say. So Rahimun, like we know that Bismillah ar-Rahman rahim we always translate it as always merciful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is always merciful. So the ya gives away the meaning of always. Hakimun means always wise. And there are other patterns as mentioned for the isim sifa. And it is also essential to learn about these patterns so that when you encounter them during your study of the Quran, you are not going to get confused. So a isim file, as we know, that focuses on the doer of an action, while the isim mushabba emphasize an inherent quality or a permanent quality. Therefore, there are similarities and we can say there are differences between both the isim file and the this isim sifa. So inshallah, we are going to look at them as well. So also learn that it can serve as a hyperbole or file or maf'ul. Also, we know that, for instance, Hamidun means one who is always being praised or it's praiseworthy. That can we can say that it comes from Hamid or Mahmud. Hamidun. Also, similarly, the word Rahim, we know that it is the intensified or the enhanced form of Rahimun. Also, this pattern is also used to describe colors and physical defects. And when it is that pattern, the afalu, we can say it is not going to be considered as isim tafdeel because we have seen the colors like hamarun, that the red color is on the scale of afalu. So afalu, hamaru, then we can see that the here it is not isim tafdeel or the comparative or the superlative form. This is just the color. So this pattern shows us the colors, describes the colors and the physical effects. So we are learning about isim sifa, and We know that mostly they are on the patterns of Failun. This is the most common pattern. Like also remember that these are from Fail Lazim. They are from Fail Lazim. Like we know that the family, one family that is we know that that is a Lazim family, Karuma Yakrumu, and from that we have Karimun. So this Hakimun and everything they are from Fili Lazim, and it is derived from a Mazhar of Lazim Fail like Karimun, and Isim File is on the pattern of Failun. So this is the pattern for the most common pattern for the Isim Sifa. And Fail Lazim we can say cannot take a maful bihi, and so in the case of Isim File there is no condition of Fail Lazim. It comes from both lazim and mutaaddi sometimes, and isim file has a definite pattern. We know that it is like there are so many families we have learned, like from the family one, we know that it is the faili lazim. From we know that the karuma, we have Karimun and we have Alimun, we have Muallimun, and we have Mujahidun, the third family, we have Aslama Yuslimu, we have Muslimun. We know that they are all on a fixed or definite patterns, and that is why they we can call them Kiasi. We can call them Kiasi. They are all masdars that are qiyasi. And also there are some patterns that can be called as samai. Also, we'll see that. So for sifa mushabba, there are various patterns. So few of them are mentioned here, like you can see, fa'ilun, fa'ilun. We have the words like latifun, that means gentle, kabirun, that is big, and karibun, that is also near. So this is showing because they are on this scale, so they are giving us a permanent quality, but they are on this scale. Then we have falanu. Here we have again, we'll see that this will be a hyperbole, or we can say this is from mubaligha. Inshallah, we'll see that as well. So here, Joan, Nadman, Sakran, here these are the meanings for them. We have the other pattern, fa'ilun, hazinun, sad, farihun. We have then here you can see the dropping of the ya, because we know that the fa'il has a ya, and that ya is pointing to us that it is a different pattern and it is giving the meaning of always. So here then again there is another pattern, fa'alun, af'alun, fa'ilun. These are all the patterns that we can see for sifa mushabba and the siga mubaligha. So here you can see all these words on these patterns. Also, we have the patterns that are, we see that these are all starting with the fatha. We have few of the patterns that start with the dhamma, fa'ulun, like junubun, and shujaun on the pattern of fa'alun, and then hurrun on the pattern of fa'ulun, because this is the hurur, so it will be hurrun. So these are all the pattern that are starting with on the pattern of these words, and they are starting with the mass. So we have lots of patterns, and inshallah, with the practice, you are going to find out these words in the Quran so many times that inshallah you will be quite familiar with them. So as mentioned that those which have ism file has a definite pattern, we know that we can predict them. So there you can see that there are inshallah going to be two types of patterns, like they are Kyasi and Samai. In Kyasi there is a definite pattern. For Samai we have the multiple options of patterns, and like in the subfamilies of family 1. So because we call them Kyasi, because for the definite patterns, because we can predict, we can Kyas, we have a Kyas, we can predict by looking at the families that what the mazhar can be. But for samai, we have different type of patterns, and inshallah with the practice you are going to see that, or you can just learn about those patterns, because there are so many to learn. So we are going to see the similarities between the isim file and isim mushabba. Both are derived from masdars, we know that, and that masdars can be qiyasi and that masdars can be samai, and they can have the singular, dual, or plural forms, as well as the masculine and the feminine forms. Also learn that both can function like verbs, taking a file as a subject. And also, there are differences between isim file and sifa mushabba. So, what are the differences? The isim file and the sifa mushabba can be different in multiple ways. Like we know the source. The source for sifa mushabba, we know that it is derived from a mazhar of a faili lazim, the intransitive verb. We saw the example of Kareem because it is from the faili lazim family. Karuma yakrumu, Kareemun. Then we have isim file. On the other hand, it is derived from a faili lazim, or it can be derived from faili mutaaddi or transitive family. So the examples we also saw that there are so many patterns. So then again, the patterns, isim file follows a definite pattern, as I mentioned, that it is from the Qiyasi. It is Qiyasi like Alimun, Muallimun, Mujahidun, Muslimun. These are all isim file that are Qiyasi. They follow a definite pattern. While Ism Mushabba, however, follows a variety of patterns, different patterns, some of which are Samai, not based on the fixed rules, you can say that. Unlike Yasi, where you can predict the pattern by looking at the family. Then what is the nature of the quality? A SIM file often indicates a temporary quality. As I said that Hakim and Hakim, we know that it is a SIM file. Hakimun, Samiun, these are all uh, on the pattern of isim file and they indicate a temporary quality. But while isim mushabba typically denotes a permanent quality like Hakimun, Kadirun as Karimun, it indicates a permanent quality. So, Alhamdulillah, we are done with the differences and the similarities between Isim file and Sifa Mushabba. Just remember that Isim Mushabba, Sifa, or you can say Isim Sifa or Sifa Mushabba, it is a permanent trait and the ya inside these words just tells us that they are different from the isim file and they are on the scale of fa'ilun and there are many more patterns we saw and inshallah with the practice you are going to remember these scales and inshallah I'll see you in the next session. Barakallahu li wa lakum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.